Hello, good morning, Melvin. How are you today?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you today?
Hi, Myth, and you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just start today with the class, okay? We are going to wait through Alejandra, but let's just start because today we're going to use the What a Life book, okay? Maybe or probably you already finished your guide, but we are going to read about the reading, the wildlife reading on page number 30 about Sarah Benhart, okay? And I'm going to play a video about the biography of Sarah, okay? So I'm going to share on my screen right now. Okay, where is it?
Okay, I'm just going to search my book.
By the book? Okay, don't worry.
No, and I was going to tell you that Alejandro told me yesterday that he's moving to another house and he
Oh,
doesn't have internet, so today he won't be here.
okay, don't worry. So let's just start.
Okay.
Let's watch the video about the biography of Sarah Bernhardt, okay? And after that, let's read about a little bit about the biography, okay? I don't think that we are going to have enough time to complete the page number 38, 30, and 39, 34, and 35. That one, that page are part of the guide number one, but that was that is going to be the only thing that you have to do. So let's play the video. I'm going to play the video right now. So just say it. I'm going to be telling you all. First off, I'd like to apologize for how I'm going to butcher almost everything in French because I'm a Spanish major. So just say it.
Excuse me, Miss, you're not
I'm going to be
sharing
telling you all a little
audio.
about Sarah Bernhardt, and there's honestly so
Oh,
much on her that it would take an entire class period.
no, it's already fixed.
Sarah was born on October of 1844 and died in March of 1923. She was a French actress and found most of her success on the stage, considering that was the main medium of entertainment during the 19th century. She is considered to be the definition of star power. Her motto was bet against all odds, a phrase that some saw as unconventional, yet one that fits her spirit, because even when she had her leg amputated, she was performing in seated positions. Most of her fame came to her in the 1870s because at this time in Europe, the arts flourished, especially in Paris, where Sarah was born. But there's a lot about her past that we must delve into to understand her career and how that contributes to her image as a celebrity. We are going to be exploring Sarah through a theoretical lens from the book The Image by Daniel Boorstin. My hope is that by the end of this presentation, we will have uncovered Sarah's career and how that contributes to her celebrity status, that then provides an image. Boorstin's words will suffice for what I hope to accomplish in this presentation. That is, the least and most we can hope for is that each of us may penetrate the unknown jungle of images in which we live our daily lives. As a young girl, Sarah did not know her mother very well because her mother, Julie, was always on the move, and Sarah was constantly being sent off to live with aunts, cousins, and distant relatives. In her memoirs, Sarah writes about her fascination with her mother and her longing to stay by her side. However, this longing did not rule her life. Sarah was sent to a boarding school when she was young and then to a convent, and for most of her teen life she wanted to be a nun. However, the rigidity of the convent was displeasing to her. In her memoirs, she says that the idea that I was to be so ordered about without any regard to my own wishes or inclinations put me in an indescribable rage. This rage got her into trouble many times within the convent. The blatant disregard by her mother and the rigid life structures that Sarah had as a child, I believe, are reasons that during her career she participated in unconventional behavior. This behavior, as we have seen with celebrities in the past like Clara Bow and celebrities now like Jennifer Lawrence, has the ability to aid fame. After leaving the convent due to illness, her mother and one of her men at the time suggested that she become an actress, and she was enrolled in the Conservatoire in Paris, which was the government school of acting. What is interesting to note is that at first of hearing her enrollment in the Conservatoire, Sarah was adamant about not going. She remembered a time that an actress had come to the convent and had been so out of breath, pale, and thin. One of the nuns had told the children that it was being an actress that was killing her. However, Sarah's mother wanted her to have a profession, as there were many times when her mother called her useless because of her attitude. This is interesting because Sarah was sent off to have an independent career, yet her end goal was to meet a man, because originally she wanted to spend all of her money on her marriage. In today's society, many little girls aspire to be famous singers and actresses, yet have to take a practical job. Society seems flipped for Sarah. After accepting her position at the conservatoire, she expressed that she felt the need for creating a personality for herself and becoming someone. Little did she know she had already started to do this, because for her interview for the conservatoire, she recited a fable instead of performing a play or singing like most girls. The idea of becoming someone is addressed in Borston's book when he talks about how fame can be manufactured. Celebrity, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, used to mean the condition of being talked about. However, now it is used to refer to a person. A celebrity is now someone who is known for his or her well-knownness, according to Borston. Whereas someone like a hero is known for achievement and for their role in society, a celebrity is known as an image or a trademark. This seemed to be Sarah's goal, to become someone known as something, as if she was not someone without it already. She became well known for her wide emotional range, interpretations, and tragic characters. For example, she used to travel with a coffin that she supposedly slept in order to put her more in touch with her tragic roles. Audiences loved her, and she went on world tours. But we'll talk more about her big roles later. Sarah, through her relentless self-promotion, unconventional fashion sense, and many other qualities, began to become an image for the public. She even took over the Théâtre de Renaissance from 1893 to 1899, where she coached many young girls, altering their abilities and minds, and one could argue creating them to represent her image. After her world tour, she was told that she had achieved in two worlds, that is, Europe and the United States, an incontestable popularity and artistic celebrity. An appeal to popular culture gave Sarah celebrity status, and the status of being an image in people's minds. The rise of images in place of reality, like celebrities, blurs the outlines of our realities and permeates our lives. Now to discuss the heights and depths of Sarah's career. At one point, she was expelled from the Comédie Française, where she went after the conservatoire, and had an illegitimate child, and was a courtesan, which was pretty much an escort. She returned to the theater at Odeon, and even opened it as a hospital after the Franco-German War in the 1870s. Her fame hit its height in the 1870s when she starred in Voltaire's play Zaire, as well as in other roles for Victor Hugo, Desmonda and Othello, and popular performances of Adrienne and Frou Frou. There were countless other roles that were written for her character. One that she adopted that is impressive, yet confusing, is when she played Hamlet in Shakespeare's play Hamlet. In Shakespeare's time, there were no women actresses. Instead, there were men that played the roles of women. Women were only seen on stage after the king's permission. For example, in 1775, Sarah Siddons also played the role of Hamlet. However, in the 1880s, Sarah Bernhardt scored the role, something very unconventional, as she was a woman. However, she expressed that Hamlet's impulses and actions reminded her of a woman, so it was only fitting that she play the part, as she was typecast to play tragic roles anyways. She went on multiple tours to the United States, Canada, and South America, where she was met by praise and criticism, as many celebrities are. At one point, after one of her performances, the audience was yelling for her to make a speech. This sort of fandom Borston describes as a social type that displays interest, affection, and attachment for certain figures. The fan is a result of the celebrity. A fan is a response to the star system. In the same way that Clara Bow built fans that wanted to look like her, act like her, and be like her, Sarah Bernhardt created fans that felt so moved that they cried during plays and demanded speeches, as if asking for some wisdom and knowledge to be passed down. Borston says that while we have given others great power to deceive us and create pseudo-events, celebrities, and images, they could not have done so without our collaboration. This suggests that celebrities have the power to alter the images that fans have, of them and of the world, for we form our opinions of the world through the people that we associate things with. It also suggests that we as the fans provide consent and collaboration for images to invade and affect our lives, so much so that we lose what is real and what is conjured up as imagined. According to NPR and the co-curators for the exhibition in the Jewish Museum in New York called Sarah Bernhardt, The Art of High Drama, Sarah is a model for modern celebrities. Her presence on stage translated to her presence in society, and this allowed her to brand herself to create longevity. She affiliated herself with products to stay in the public's eye, such as broad-range face powder, antiseptic, pear soap, etc. Through this, not only could she make money, but she could stay on a continuum between her stage self and her advertised self. Bernhardt showed that to be an actor on stage, one must also be an actor in real life. Today, there are celebrities that endorse products everywhere, like Shaq and Gold Bond, or celebrities featured on Wheatie boxes. Sarah Bernhardt was almost the first to create such an image for herself and market herself to the public. Part of this media proliferation was due to the development of photography, and the other part was due to the liberation of the press and publishing in France in 1881. This law allowed a lot of freedom for the press, and advertisements as well as newspapers. Sarah had photographs that circulated widely. There are photographs of her home that are reminiscent of today's photojournalism and the public's ability to catch a glimpse of the private lives of celebrities. The photos of her house and home life, however, are not the scandalous pictures we might see in today's People magazine. Instead, they are images that enhance her status because she is constantly posed and constantly performing, and constantly making an image for herself. At the end of her fame, Sarah herself made some comments about her celebrity appeal. She asked, "Was it really for the sake of advertising myself that I was so thin and small?"
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm going to stop the video right there, right now. Just that I want you look at like how Sarah acts, right? So this one, it's a short video, okay? It's in black and white, obviously, because it was in 1920s years. Okay, so that just one more time. Okay, so Sarah Bernhardt um, was born in 1844 and died in 1923. Sarah Bernhardt was a famous actress. Many people thought that she was one of the greatest actresses in the history. She was like on in the present like Angelina Jolie or actress like that, right? So I didn't know before no this class this year about Sarah Bernhardt, okay? Because she died time ago, right? Like 100 years ago. So let's start. We are going to read about the book of about the reading of Sarah Bernhardt. So let's start reading. I know that we are not going to finish the reading for today, okay? So we are going to identify the vocabulary, okay, that we have right there that are in black, a high black, like divine, dramatic, humbly, prestigious, debut, okay, publicity, bizarre. So to identify what are the meaning of each of the words that we have right there. So let's start reading, okay? So I'm going to read the first two paragraphs, 1 and 2, and then you read the paragraph 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6, and and let's complete the reading that we have read, okay? Okay, that's Sarah Bernhardt, page number 30. Many people believe that Bernhardt was the greatest actress in the history of the theater. She fascinated our audience around the world. People adored her and called her the Divine Sarah. Her performances were very dramatic, and so was her life. Sarah was born in 1844 in a poor neighborhood in Paris. Her mother, Julie Bernard, was a beautiful woman who had many boyfriends. Sarah never knew her father. Julie loved to travel, and there was no place in her life from Sarah. So Sarah grew up feeling unwanted.
Okay. Friends and family members helped to care for Sarah. Mostly she lived with her nurse in a small dark room in a poor dirty neighborhood. She was thin, pale, and sick looking. She was also very unhappy. When Sarah was about 5 years old, she threw herself out of, out, uh, out a window when her aunt refused to take her home with her. Sarah was badly hurt and she couldn't walk. Her mother was forced to take care of her until she was well enough to go away to boarding school. Sarah had a bad temper and loved to break the rules. The boarding school didn't want her, so her mother sent her to a Catholic convent school where the teachers were nuns. Sarah needed to be disciplined and educated. This wasn't easy because Sarah had a lot of energy and passion. She tried to use her energy in a good way. She started studying to become a nun. This didn't work because Sarah was still very rebellious. In the end, the convent couldn't handle Sarah and the nuns asked her to leave. Sarah's family had to think of something else to do with their wild child. You're muted.
Sorry. Yes. When Sarah was about 16 and a friend of her mother suggested she study acting, Sarah wasn't sure about it, but everyone else thought it was a wonderful idea. She chose a scene to perform from the examinator to enter the French government acting school to Paris Conservatory. She studied very hard. When she began the scene, the judges stopped her. They wanted her to choose a boy to act in the scene with her, but Sarah has practiced alone, so she refused. The judges were shocked, but they offered to let Sarah perform something else. She chose to tell a story she knew. This was very unusual because the judges wanted her to act, not to tell a story. But Sarah insisted. She told the story with such brilliance that she was accepted every before she finished. Sarah studied at the conservatory for several years and made her first stage appearance at the National Theatre Company, the comedy franchise. when she was 17. It was the most prestigious theater in Europe, but Sarah's debut was a failure. When she heard what people thought about her, she swallowed poison and most died. Life is usual, she said to her friends. I wanted to see what that was like. Sarah continued to act without much success. She finally left the company after the face of their oldest and most respected actress.
Sarah Bernhardt had a terrible temper, but she also had a charm, passion, and strong personality. She had friends and boyfriends all over Europe. Around this time, she gave birth to her only child, Maurice. But like her mother, she didn't marry his father, who was a prince. Bernhard wanted to be free to do whatever she wanted. She was 22 now and determined to succeed. She joined the Odeon Theater and studied very hard for the next 6 years. She performed with all her energy and passion and became as well-respected actress. In 1869, I mean 1869,
Yes, you
Bernhard,
continue.
okay, Bernhard had her first great success. She acted in a play called Le Passant, which played over 100 nights. She was on her way to a brilliant career, but the Franco-German War interrupted her life for a while. Paris was under attack. In 1870, Bernhard organized a military hospital in the theater. After the war ended in 1871, the audience began to produce plays again, and she returned to acting. The audience loved her and the critics went wild. The comedy franchise asked her to come back to them. She gave unforgettable performance. Her fans called her the Divine Sarah.
Okay, people began to tell stories about Bernhard. Some were true, some were not so true. They say they smoked cigars and acted like a man because she was thin and played male roles. Some people say she was a boy dressed up in a woman's clothes. Sarah loved the policy and lives in a life as well. Exciting and bizarre as the story about her. Sarah Bernhardt worked hard and didn't rest. Her doctors told her that if she didn't rest, she would die at a young age. She was always fascinated by death. No one played a death thing like Sarah Bernhardt. She likes to walk around in she always keeps a special coffin and places it beside her bed, so it will be the first thing she was when she woke up. Sometimes she slept in it. Sometimes she served tea to her friends on it. She brought the coffin with her wherever she went. Benhard was pretty ill, so it isn't surprising that she had a left wheel cat, including a wheel cat, two young lions, and a young tiger. She took them with her to the theater and keeps them in her dressing room during her performance.
Sarah Bernhardt became the leading actress of the comedy française. Okay, I guess that's the correct pronunciation. When the company traveled to London, thousands of people came to see her and not the Comédie Française. After her last performance in the United States, 50,000 people came to the stage door to say goodbye to her. But the management didn't like her temper or her strange lifestyles. When the manager told her this, she left the company and formed her own. She called it the Sarah Bernard Theater. She played many important parts. In fact, she was one of the first women to play Hamlet. By then, she was 36 years old. She traveled around the world and became an international celebrity. There was no actor or actress in the world like Sarah Bernhardt. Bernhardt was not like other actresses. Age didn't hurt her career. She became more brilliant as she got older. It seems that nothing could stop her. She worked 14 and 15 hours a day and played the most difficult roles. When she was 64 years old, she shocked audience when she played 19 years old Joan of Arc. Around this time, Bernhardt hurt her leg during a performance. The leg never healed properly, and she suffered with pain for many years. In 1915, her leg had to be cut off, so Sarah began to play her part sitting in a wheelchair. The following year, during World War I, she still entertained the soldiers. When she was 79, she worked on a film for an American producer, but she was too ill to leave her house, so he filmed her in her living room. When she could no longer sit in a chair, she said, "Film me in bed." Then Sarah Bernard died. She was buried in the coffin she always took with her. And I got a question. Coffee is like a ataúd.
Yes, yes,
Ah, okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so she was very bizarre. Do you know what is the meaning of bizarre?
Bizarro.
Yes, she was very weird, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't know if you finished because tomorrow is the last day that you can send me the guide, right? So I don't know if you already um, finished the guide or you are still working on it.
Yeah, I already did all these pages.
Ah, okay, so we are not going to complete that thing, okay? So for today, we we use the Waterlife book because we have to use it. One, two, because this one says a story of amazing people that we didn't know before in some case, and others yet. But I really like this kind of, of reading. I love to read, so I really like it. So for today, that was the class for today. So from only for today, we're going to finish 1 minute before. Okay. So
Okay, mate, thank you.
if you already finished, I don't know if you have any question or something from the guy or
No, I'm okay.
it's fine. Okay.
Yeah, and today I'm going to upload the homework to Edu.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So in that case, thanks so much for being time and have a wonderful day.
You're welcome, miss. Thank
Okay.
you too.
Bye.
Bye, take care.